And here's the video review for Power of the Primes Deluxe SLUG, aka SLAG, aka whatever else they've called him over the years. Triceratops Dinobot Dude. The story of how I got these, watch the swoop video if you haven't already. But here he is. You can see he's a little small. He's a little potato in my hand. He's got like no neck, but Triceratopses really didn't have necks. You can kind of rotate his horns around a little bit, forward and back. You can. Somebody asked if you can flip them around. You can get them a little farther than originally pictured, but I don't want to stress these too much. You can kind of rotate them around if you'd rather have them face up like that, which looks a little silly, but you know, whatever. Because like the way they sit normally, they come packaged like that, and that just seems a little goofy. It helps us at least swivel them out just a little bit to give them a little bit more dynamicness, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Now, his front legs, you do have to kind of squat his front legs down really low to get him to stand levelly, because his back legs do have knees, they don't extend any bit, so you can't have these like straight down. To make him a little taller, he does have to hunch his front legs quite a bit to be even with the back. Otherwise, he'll stand a little awkwardly. You can store his gun. Again, he comes with a gun but no sword, whereas Swoop came with a sword but no gun. You can pull that out. He does come with his prime armor. Now, he can actually store it just by pegging it in right here on top. If you want to, you can kind of fold those thumbs down. I don't know that it can really... I mean, you can kind of have it facing the other way, too, if you want. But it sits a little bit more naturally in the middle of the back that way, although it doesn't plug in all the way down because of his feet. But yeah, and like I said with the prime stuff, you can pop this piece out. It becomes the hand for limb mode, which again will show off once I get Grimlock on the Dinobots, although, as I mentioned in Swoop, I will probably be messing with them with Skylinks later on today on Twitter. But you can pop this little piece out. You can use this as a small handgun if you wish, and you can carry around, it's Magnus again, the Titan Master, which will give them powers in here. There's a little place for the foot plug to go in. Right now, all we have is Titan Masters. I haven't found... I want the Pretenders really badly, but I haven't found them yet. So you can carry giant heads around in their chests, if you wish. But the Primes will give different powers based on their bio. Now, Slug comes with... you can see he's got a different symbol than Swoop did. Solus Slug. So if you plug Solus Prime into Slug, forges weapons from the melted metal of his enemies. So there you go. If you plug Solus Prime into Slug, he can forge weapons from the melted metal of, indeed, his enemies. And like I said, these just flip out the fingers. And you can get them flipped out. Form the feet and hands of the combined modes. I'm curious how the foot works. Anyway. Yeah. On to Slug himself, now that we've done the gimmick. I will get more and more brief with these pieces as we get through the reviews today. So here he is, and like I said, not a whole lot of posability here in Dinosaur mode. He's got hinges at the hip and knee at the back Dinosaur leg, and at the shoulder and knee here on the front Dinosaur leg. Front Dinosaur leg also has a swivel because that is his hand, or his arm, and you can see his hands plugged up right there. And again, you can move the horns. You can open his mouth, but unlike Swoop, where it's just kind of loose, you can pose it however you want. There is like a locking tab on that. You heard it click. So like it closes up about that far before the ridge comes into place, and if you push it past that ridge, it holds it straight up against it because it's meant to hide his face in there. So you can have him look kind of like that if you want his mouth open, but outside of that, that's as close as you can get it to closed without fully closing the mouth. So yeah, so to transform him, we're going to go ahead and unpeg the tail bits here at the back. Bring them down and rotate them out to the side here, just like this. Flip the legs down and unpeg them. Now, before you fold the tail into the leg, there's a panel in here, and sometimes rotating this will help it flip out. This is an extra little heel piece to keep him supported, so make sure this piece flips down, and then you can take the tail and rotate it into the leg like that. And also, when you're going back to Dinosaur mode, make sure you flip that up, because the leg won't flip up all the way unless you have that folded up into there. So be aware of that. And fold his dinosaur legs back here onto his leg. Same on the other side. Make sure this heel piece comes down. Also, this is kind of tied to the outer leg, so if you can't get your finger in there to get it, just rotate the leg around and that'll bring that heel piece down. Flip the tail in, and then rotate the leg back over here. You can see he does have his combiner port there in his chest as well. Right. So their legs are done. This whole dinosaur head assembly, you can see right here, for limb mode comes out and back like this. So that will access the combiner peg if you want to use that. Again, not doing the limb modes here in these straight up reviews, but you'll probably see some pictures on Twitter. Once Grimlock gets here, I'll start combining the Dinobots for sure. So you bring that down, flip his fists out of the legs here. And then, again, just snap that chest plate down. And there he is in robot mode. You can angle his horns out behind his head there. You can hold his gun. Again, kind of sad. I wish all the Dinobots came with guns and swords. Or at the very least, they all came with swords. But, oh well. So yeah, there he is in his robot mode. His Power the Prime's armor can plug in right here onto his chest. Again, kind of looks like a baby Bjorn, especially if you've got like a little head in there. But that's what gives him his Prime armor. And you can adjust these to, again, sit a little closer to the chest if you want. Well, kind of a silly gimmick, but, you know, hey. Posability-wise, his head does rotate side to side, although it's within the dinosaur head shell, so it's a little limited and it can be a little difficult to get in there and move it. Ball joint shoulders, bicep swivel, hinge elbows. Does have a waist swivel, which is nice. Ball joint hips, thigh swivel, hinge knees to a little less than 90 degrees, it looks like, because of the way the tail piece comes in. I guess if you flip the tail out, you could probably get more range, but obviously you can because it folds up for dinosaur mode. And no articulation in the ankle because they're solid pieces. Again, just as a size comparison, here he is with G1 Snarl. So they're not super smaller than the old school Dinobots. Again, he doesn't have his big wing pack, so that takes away some of his bulk. And here he is with his fellow Dinobot, Swoop, just to give you an idea of what they look like together. Now, Swoop here does have the blue chest. I meant to mention that in his video review. While on the packaging, he has a red chest. Is that going to be a variant down the line? I don't know, but I've seen both versions of the chest, both red and blue on Swoop. But there he is, Dinobot SLUG from the new Power the Prime's line.